Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Matt from RamseyVoice.com, and I am so excited that you guys are here. I know we have people from all over the world that are watching this. I'm super excited that you guys are here. Just want to make sure that you can adjust your volume, all that stuff, that you can see me in the bottom left-hand corner down here. You'll see me looking down here a lot just because that's where my camera goes, and you can also see the slides on the top. So we're gonna get started here in just a second. But I want to make this as interactive as possible. So what I want you to do is grab a piece of paper and grab a pen. And what I want you to do right now, because I'm going to quiz you on this later, is I want you to actually write down a song that you've always wanted to sing but haven't been able to. A song that you've always wanted to sing, haven't been able to, whatever it is. Maybe Adele, Ariana Grande, Sam Smith, Bruno Mars, those are all pop singers, but, whatever genre you happen to sing, go ahead and write that down now. We're going to come back to that in just a second. And by the way, we're going to have like a little Q&A at the very end where I answer the most commonly asked questions. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to me at any point, and I'm super excited to get back to you. Okay, great. So this is the 3 steps to go from singing in the shower to singing on stage. Now, if we haven't met before, I just want to introduce myself real quick. My name is Matt Ramsey. I'm the founder of RamseyVoice.com and the Master Your Voice singing course. Master Your Voice is the only video singing course out there that is totally interactive, where you get personal feedback from a real 5-star singing coach. So me and my girlfriend Monica and our dog Lola live here in Austin, Texas. Whoop, whoop. About 10 years ago, I started off by teaching private singing lessons. And about 7 years ago, I started my YouTube channel and my blog, and I actually ended up seeing that there were a ton of students that I had, both on my email list, but also in my YouTube comments, that were really confused about some of the things that they were hearing, and they were really confused about how to put this whole singing thing together. And so what I did was 3 years ago, I created the Master Your Voice singing program, because I saw that so many people were really lost and confused. And what this does, and the difference with Master Your Voice, is you really get a clear picture of what's holding you back and how to fix it. And just a quick humble brag, I'm a 5-star rated singing coach, and I've taught over 1,000 students in person now, not virtually, but in person and online, to sing more in tune, expand their range, and gain more vocal control. And some people expand their range by as much as 7 notes. It's pretty crazy. I've even seen some students expand their range by an octave or more. Just another humble brag. Those are just some of my reviews, just so you know I'm not full of it. And I really, really value your all's time, and I really appreciate that you guys are here watching this. So I want to hook you up with something special. So if you stay and watch until the end, I'm giving away an amazing bonus. This is my Become a Rockstar ebook. I put a lot of love and a lot of time into this. You're going to learn several key things. Number 1, you're going to learn how to pick the right gear for your voice, no matter what level you're at, whether you're gigging or not. I know things are crazy right now. Number 2, you're going to learn my favorite exercise to find your unique vocal style. And number 3, you're also even going to get some email templates to start scoring gigs at venues in your town whenever you're ready. Again, no push, but it's just a good thing to have. Even if you're not ready to hit the stage just yet, this will be a really great thing that will, carry you forward. Now, I always like to start off this workshop with a really silly story. So last year, my family, we all got together for the holiday. And, one of my family members was like, let's go to this place called Topgolf. And I don't know if you've ever been to a Topgolf, but Topgolf is basically like this place where it's kind of like a virtual driving range, right? Like everybody has their club, and you swing and you hit the golf balls, and these computers and cameras, they measure how far your ball goes, and it measures how close it gets to the hole, right? Now, I don't know if anybody else that's on here grew up playing golf or any of that stuff. I did not. I was not, we did not do golf lessons or anything like that in my house. And so I was, very, very terrible. I'd never played golf before, but my family wanted to do it. So we were like, okay, let's go and do this thing. So a couple of the other members of my family, though, were really good at golf and had played a lot before. And so they saw how terrible I was, and they were like, okay, let's give this guy a hand. So because they love me. They were like, okay, so, you know, you want to like swing through the knees and you want to like bend some more this way and you want to look where you want the ball to go, like all of this stuff. And what ended up happening, of course, is that I just got worse. Raise your hand if you've been in that position before where it's like, you know, you have like 10 people giving you advice on something and you just end up getting worse. I think we all have. We've all had things like that. Now, the crazy thing is that at the very, very end of our time on our lane in our little virtual, you know, driving range, we had like 10 minutes left. And everyone was like, go for it, Matt. You can, you know, just hit some balls for a while. And so what ended up happening was I decided to just focus on one thing that one person said to me that made a lot of sense. My stepbrother told me, he was like, you want to look where you want the ball to go. In other words, you don't want to like focus or look down too much or like, you know, focus on all this other stuff. Instead, I just focused on this one thing of looking where I wanted the ball to go. Right? So I focused on just that and shut out everything else. And what ended up happening? Well, of course, I landed on the green 3 times in the last 10 minutes, whereas before that, I'd only landed on it once in the last 2 hours. Now, I'm sure that you guys have all been here because, you know, it's just one of those crazy things that, you know, when we're able to just focus on the one thing that's holding us back or just one piece of feedback rather than 10 people telling us, we're able to do so much better. Now, unfortunately, I see this happening with stuff with singing all the time. And I want you to remember this golden rule. Go ahead and write this down. Don't just watch a bunch of confusing YouTube videos. Why do I say that? Well, what I want you to write down here is that the number one thing that most students do, most singers do, in order to improve their voice is they go on YouTube and they watch a ton of videos. But every video has a different technique and a different teacher, and that just adds one more thing that could confuse you. And the truth of the matter is, you may actually even be working on exercises that are going to hold you back. Like you may misdiagnose what you're trying to work on or something like that. And you may actually make yourself worse in the process. Now, how is that possible? Well, with the voice, obviously you can't really see it, you can't really touch it, and it sounds different to you than it does to everybody else. So YouTube is a one-way street, right? The teacher on YouTube is telling you to try one thing, you try it, you have no idea if it's right or not. So I want to give you a really, really great example of when you do this right. If you've ever wondered whether you can learn to sing those songs that you wrote down at the very beginning, I want you guys to meet Dave, because I think Dave just defies so many of the myths that we have around singing about you have to be naturally talented, or you have to have perfect pitch, or, you know, you have to take tons and tons of voice lessons and stuff like that. Let me just tell you about Dave real quick. So Dave is a singer-songwriter, and he's a really, really great guitar player. But he'd never really had what he thought of as a very good voice, and he never had a lesson. Well, what ended up happening was because he's such a good guitar player, he actually got invited to start singing in a duo with another female singer. And since he'd never really been like a singer before, like an actual singer, he just went and watched a bunch of YouTube videos, right? Now, what ended up happening was he started going down the YouTube rabbit hole, and what he found was that his highest note was an E4. That's this one right here above middle C. Mom, 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 mom. And that his lowest note was an E2 down there. Now, what ended up happening was because he found that range, he actually thought that he was a bass. Now, what was crazy about this was when Dave found me, within 60 minutes, we expanded Dave's vocal range by 7 notes, 7 half steps. And at the end of that, he knew that he was a tenor. Now, how was this able to happen? Well, because we found out that Dave had never actually used another part of his voice before. He'd only been singing in one part of his voice, but he had totally neglected a different part of his voice. And within 1 hour, man, he added 7 notes to his range. And I just think it's absolutely tremendous. So this is his range before, as you can see, E2 to E4, and then bam, massive gains right there. And just a real quick video from our lesson together. That way you guys can kind of see that I'm not just like making this up. This is kind of fun. Check this out.
To the place I
I was going falsetto, right? Okay.
belong to the place I belong, West Virginia.
There it is.
I'm hitting it way easier than when I first started. I'm not even straining
Yeah, it's
to
just
get
happening.
to the place I belong, West Virginia.
Keep going.
I'm not even straining.
Yeah.
Wow,
Isn't it amazing that voice lessons help?
they do. Is that an E4?
It is, yes.
Okay.
Now you
That's
got all the way up
what
to
I
B4.
told you my range. That's what I thought was the top of my range.
Yeah,
E2 to an E4, but now I'm finding out that was just the top of my chest voice.
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome, Dave. Now, I just want to point out to you guys that like Dave was exactly like you guys. When he first met me, he was like, I really want to sing Country Roads by John Denver. I've never been able to hit that high note in it. The high note, by the way, that was an E4 at the top of it. And within like just a couple minutes of using the right vocal exercises, bam, he was able to do it. And you're able to hear such a huge difference. Now, I just, kind of to highlight one of the things that Dave said about this, he just reviewed my voice lesson. I'm able to go up to a high B now, which was my highest note. So I think I'll work on my range from D1 to B4 now. It's like, yeah, good idea, man. I think this is my new range. And I'm super excited for him, man. That is perfect. Now, because of Master Your Voice, Dave found out the number one thing that he needed to focus on for his voice. Number two, he used my custom plan to add 7 notes to his voice, which is nearly an octave. And number three, he learned the exact exercises that he needed to practice in order to start singing his favorite songs. The $1,000,000 question: how do you do this? And of course, this is a little bit of a philosophical one, but now he knows that he's a tenor, so he knows what he can expect from his voice. So why did this work so well for Dave? Well, the number one reason is that I actually listened to him sing something and I told him exactly what was holding him back. I mean, just imagine how powerful that is. Rather than your mom or your neighbor or somebody else telling you, oh, yeah, you were a little flat or you were a little sharp there or something like that. You're actually getting expert feedback on exactly what's going on in your voice. Number two, I gave him a specific plan with custom exercises to overcome those issues, right? It's not just enough to hear that you're doing something wrong, but how do you actually overcome those? What's your plan to get better at that? And number three, of course, he learned which techniques to use to improve his voice and sing songs better. Now, in order to do this, there's 3 steps that you need to follow. So, number one, you need to get personal feedback from an expert coach. Now, in the Master Your Voice singing program, we call this the vocal snapshot, and I'll talk about all of this a lot more, but it's really, really, really fascinating stuff. Number two, you need to make a plan to overcome your biggest singing obstacles. In Master Your Voice, we call that the singing roadmap. And number three, you need to learn which techniques to use to achieve your goals. And of course, that's my method. That's the Ramsey Voice method. Now, I just wanted to put this out there that I am personally looking to help 10 students this round understand their singing obstacles and overcome them. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, you want to find out how all of this works, go ahead, pull out your pen and paper. And for the rest of this, I'm going to just be talking you through exactly how we put this into use with the students that are in the program. All right, so number one, we're going to show you the vocal assessment from a 5-star singing coach, right? Okay, so this is absolutely huge. The first thing is that we're going to take what we call a vocal snapshot. So we actually have you send in a recording of yourself singing something. Now, obviously, the reason that we do that is because no YouTube coach on earth can tell you what you're doing wrong when you sing, right? YouTube is a one-way road. It's like they're giving you an exercise, you're singing it back. You could be you could be breaking like crazy, and they don't know that you're breaking, and they can't help you fix that. In this, we cut right through that by having you send in a recording of yourself singing. That way, we can diagnose exactly what issues are holding you back. And I just want to validate for you, There's no high tech required with this. You just shoot a 2-minute iPhone or Android, whatever smartphone that you have, Google Pixel, whatever. Just shoot a 2-minute phone video and you send it in. It's that simple. There's no downloads, nothing, no high tech required here. As long as you have a smartphone and email, you are good to go. And number 3, I just wanted to validate for you, most people that hear about my program are not going to enroll for this very reason, because they're so scared to send in a recording of themselves singing something. And I just want to validate for you that that is totally, totally reasonable. And this is something that a lot of people go through. Now, of course, the first step is the hardest, but it is totally, totally essential. Now, the reason that I think that this is so hard is because it's always like safer to wonder if you're a great singer and just stick to YouTube video exercises than to actually record yourself, send it in to an expert, and maybe have your worst fears come true, and the vocal coach comes back and says, you know what, we just can't help you. I'm so sorry. There's no hope for you. You're just not a singer and stuff like that. Well, let me ask you guys something, and you can write this down. How often do you think that we get an assessment that we're like, I'm so sorry, we can't do anything to help you. Here's your money back. It's just like, how often do you think that happens? What percentage of the time? It never happens. It never happens, guys. Anyone can become a better singer. I believe that every person that's watching this has a beautiful voice that's just waiting to be unlocked. You just need the right personal feedback in order to do it. In fact, I just want to show you some of the examples of people who get their assessments once they send in their snapshot. Chelsea said, got it, and I'm very excited. Gianni was like, dude, that's so awesome how you do a video as well. By the way, I'll get into the video aspect of it in just a couple minutes. I wasn't expecting that video, but thank you so much. I'm super excited to start. And here's a great one from Serge, because I think that this really highlights the difference between Master Your Voice and all the other singing programs out there. He said, it feels as if I certainly made the best choice possible in enrolling in the course, is what he's talking about. Honestly, at first I was a bit skeptical about becoming a member because of the extensive use of your marketing skills, which is kind of like a backhanded compliment. It's like, it's like, if you're a good marketer, you obviously can't be a good vocal coach. Well, I try to do my very best to be the best vocal coach I can possibly be. And I definitely do market myself as well. And then he said, and now, especially after viewing your vocal assessment and roadmap, for the first time ever, I'm really sure about starting this journey where I'd like to be able to comfortably sing someday. Think about how amazing that is. Just to get that feedback from somebody who really knows what they're talking about and is like, okay, this is exactly what you need to do in exactly what order. Here's a great one from Charles Ramsden. Again, comparing me to the competition, if you will. Charles said, I've been using Superior Singing Method and 30 Days Singer since April this year, every day when I started to try and sing. Then I recorded myself and realized that the issues I have, these courses couldn't solve, which is why I came to you. I'll have followed your advice and do the practice and the things you suggest. Yeah, those other courses are basically YouTube, right? It's just you're watching videos that somebody sends you and you're practicing along, but there's no feedback. There's no guidance on how you can improve yourself, which is why most people find my course. Now, when you do this right, you can, number one, obviously easily diagnose your vocal issues. You send me a recording, a really, really simple 1 to 2 minute recording of you singing something. I get right back to you and I'm like, boom, this is what your vocal issue is. This is where you need to focus. Then you'll know the number one thing that's holding you back. And of course, you can finally create a plan to fix it. I mean, think about how important that is. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do something crazy. Are you guys ready to try something crazy with me? What we're going to do is we're going to actually assess a student's voice together. How do you guys feel about that? Is that something that's exciting for you? If that sounds exciting, go ahead and make sure that you have your pen and paper ready. Close out Facebook, Skype, all that other stuff. Make sure that you can really, really pay a close attention to what's going on here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take one of the assessments that I've gotten, one of the vocal snapshots that I've received from one of my students. We're going to listen to it together. And what I want you to do is I want you to write down on your piece of paper what you're hearing that this singer could be doing better, right? So maybe not everything that's like wrong with them is like, oh, they're pitchy and flat and all that stuff. I mean, you can write that down too. I'm not going to judge. But maybe write down what they could be doing better. What can they actually be doing to improve their voice? So this is Bethany, and she is our very, very gracious volunteer for this. Now, the reason that I wanted to do this is I think it's really easy to hear the theory of this and get excited, but I also want you to see it in action. So Bethany, she's the music director at her church, and she's been singing for a long time. But, you know, as no matter what level that you're at, you always want to get more vocal control. You always want to be singing better, right? So in this particular case, Bethany wanted to find some more vocal control, which is why she found my program, reached out to me. And what Bethany did was she sent us just a really quick vocal snapshot. And so what I want you guys to do is I'm going to play that snapshot right now. This is exactly what she sent to me. And I want you to write down on your piece of paper right there exactly what you're hearing that she could be doing better, okay? Here we go.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, go ahead, finish taking your notes right now, and go ahead, and I want you to just write down what Bethany could be doing better with her voice. What's wrong? What do we need to address here? So go ahead and take 1 minute to do that. And then I'm going to see if my answers line up with yours. Okay, everybody got it? All right, awesome. So a lot of people, when they hear Bethany, write down stuff like breath control. She really needs to, she's really quite light. She needs to sing with more breath control. They write down that she's a little pitchy. And they also write down that she's kind of strainy on the higher notes, right? Just raise your hand. I can't see you, but raise your hand if you wrote down one of those three things. I'm sure that there's something kind of similar to all of those, right? And all of those are totally true. Those are all correct. Now, here's the really interesting thing. And this is where my voice teacher, where I, put my voice teacher cap on. When I listen to this, what I listen for is why. Why is she lacking breath control? Why is she straining on those higher notes? Now, this is something that you can never learn from YouTube because YouTube's just a little too, there's too many teachers, too many techniques, and too many things that could confuse you. Most of the time, it's just exercises. But see if you can follow me on this for a second. Listen to the very beginning of Bethany singing. Okay, did you hear it yet? So right off the bat, she's quite light with that, oh, say. She's very, very breathy and light. Now, what that is the result of is when the vocal cords themselves aren't actually closing enough. If they're not closing like that, oh, say, with that full sound, with that what we call chest voice in the vocal world, if the vocal cords aren't closing that much, if they're kind of closing like this, basically there's going to be just a lot of air leaking. Oh, say. She's still singing the right notes, but it's very, very light. Now, what happens if you start a little bit light at the bottom part of your voice is that typically people start to strain. And let's see if that happens.
And the rocket's red glare.
There it is right there. So you see that she starts off a little bit light, and then as she goes on, she knows that that little bit of lightness in the bottom part of her voice is just kind of tough. And so she starts to overcompensate and start to push a little bit more. This is super, super common. So everyone who wrote down breath control and wrote down strainy and pitchy, those are absolutely correct. But I think that if we actually just started off by working on Bethany's chest voice and got her to feel just a little bit stronger on those lower notes, I think we would be sounding so much better. Great job, everyone. Does everyone see how that's a big difference there? So once I was able to hear this and we worked on Bethany's chest voice a little bit, we had massive results. I mean, she gained so much more confidence and so much more vocal control because she could finally sing with that beautiful and full vocal tone. Her pitch started to correct itself because she was using that fuller voice as well. It's just absolutely magic. And again, I mean, no YouTube video in the world can tell you if you're singing too lightly or if your larynx is too high or if you're off pitch. You need to have an expert assess these issues and hear you in order to get results. And here's just a quick little testimonial from Bethany.
I felt more confident just because I like knew what to work on. I listened to the control of my voice a little bit better. I even just found confidence in like your assessment. So that's a gift that you have, is that you're very encouraging. I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate you doing this for me.
Man, I'm super proud of her too. She's come such a long way. She was already a great singer, and just that little tweak is really, really helpful. And that kind of brings me to my next point, which is that, after we assess your voice, we're going to create that custom plan to overcome your vocal roadblocks. Now, the big secret to this is that most people are going to hear this and they're going to be like, oh my God, I have to change everything about my voice. I need to, just like throw out everything. I need to go back to YouTube. They go right back down the YouTube rabbit hole. Okay, I want to expand my vocal range. I want to sing and whistle register. I want to learn to belt. And then they get lost and confused again. They lost that focus on that one thing that was holding them back. But the truth of the matter is, usually it's just a really small tweak or a little small change that we need to make in your voice in order to see massive results. So that's going to bring us to step 2, which is creating this custom plan to overcome your obstacles, right? So what that means is that most people, unfortunately, are going to guess wrong about which exercises to do. If I just gave Bethany a ton more breath control exercises, those wouldn't help her because she's already so breathy, right? It's not the problem with the respiration system of her voice. The problem is actually with her voice itself and getting the vocal cords to close a little bit more. And so just like all the folks that said, oh yeah, she was too breathy, or that she was too strainy, it's like, again, let's take a step back and figure out why that is. And the fact of the matter is, most people are going to guess wrong about which exercises to do. And most of the time, unfortunately, if you don't do that, you may be actually working on exercises that may make your voice worse. And I think that that's a good point because, we just need people outside of us to tell us sometimes. We need that outside perspective to really give us that missing piece that we're missing. I know that you guys feel me on this. Now, instead of doing that, you're going to learn exactly what exercises to focus on for maximum results. Why? Because you've had an expert give you some feedback on that. So when you do this right, my God, you're going to know which exercises to use to see improvement over time. It may be better breath control, pitch, tone, relaxation as you sing. In Bethany's case, it would have been working on some chest voice exercises that are going to help her sing a little bit stronger down there. And of course, I think that this is probably the most important thing, and this is the whole reason why I do what I do, is to help that student, to help that singer feel more confident about their voice. So, would you guys be interested in seeing what this custom roadmap looks like? I know I showed you what the vocal snapshot looks like, what somebody sent in, but how do you guys want to see what this vocal snapshot or what this custom roadmap is going to look like? So, let's take a second and let's look at it together, shall we? Okay, since you guys are so interested in seeing what a roadmap looks like, let me just take a second here and I'll get out of this and let me just show you what Bethany's roadmap actually looks like. So you're going to get a document just like this when you enroll in Master Your Voice, and you send in that snapshot, right? So you enroll in the course, you take a 2-minute video on your smartphone, you send it in to me, and I'll get back to you within 5 business days with this. Now, I know that this looks kind of boring at first glance, but check this out. Every single assessment that I do comes with this amazing video that talks you through exactly what I'm hearing and exactly what you need to be working on. Typically, they're 8 to 15 minutes long. Chest voice, in case you're not familiar, and we'll go over this in the talking to her about, like the chest voice part that we already mentioned. Course to be built along with the head voice. And then I introduce her to this perfect performance pyramid, which I created to kind of demonstrate, like, something that might be missing in a singer's voice. I take her back to the worksheet to show her where things were a little bit iffy. I gave her an assessment, some suggestions for the course. And then, I actually go back into the video itself and I show her, man, this is super meta. I'm like bubble within a bubble. And I actually show her where things went a little bit iffy and where things could get better. And I always finish off with a 1-year vision for how I want my students to improve. Again, these are typically 8 to 15 minutes. Hers is just a little shorter because it was one of the first ones I did. So let's take a look at her actual assessment. So first of all, she gets this amazing video. I take a look at her goals, which she fills out in a little survey that I send out. And then I grade her performance based on 10 different criteria, giving her a score out of 10 for each. And then I give her her assessment. And the assessment is exactly what you and I were already talking about. She started quite light in her chest voice, which will increase the temptation to pull chest voice as she sings higher until she let go completely on the free. There's no real tone to that. And again, if we just start off at the beginning, if we work through this chest voice section and spend some time there, she's going to notice that her pitch, her breath control, and then I give her some exercises to help her through, this lip trill, nah, and stuff like that. And of course, that will be different for everyone that I do this for. Now, I am going to talk about this in a little bit, but I always like to make some suggestions for repertoire for my singers, not because it's going to fit their range perfectly or their style or something like that, but because I've chosen these songs to reinforce something that she's working on. So for instance, we were talking about like her chest voice needed a little bit of work, so I ended up giving her a lot of songs that had a lot of chest voice to them. And then I always finish up with a 1-year vision, which for her is that she's singing much stronger with a lot more confidence because she's worked with custom tailored exercises and songs to help her sing with style, but also lots more vocal control. And of course, obviously, that'll be different. Everybody that sees it. Awesome. So let's get back to this. What I want to do now, this is kind of fun. I want to show you what happens if you do this wrong. Because remember my golden rule, don't just watch a bunch of YouTube videos, right? And I'm going to show you exactly why that may not be the best possible thing to do. So let's take a look at a super, super popular video. This is one from Aaron Anastasi from the Superior Singing Method. Look at this video. It's got 10 million views. It's absolutely huge. So many people have found this video. And if you look at the comments are all very, very positive. Now, I'm going to save everybody a little bit of time, and I'm going to tell you exactly what Aaron teaches you in this particular exercise. What he teaches you is an octave arpeggio zzz sound, like a zzz. Now, he demonstrates it 3 times in that same key of C sharp. So C sharp 3 up to C sharp 4. Okay? Now, I want you to just put on your thinking cap for a second. And even if you don't know those notes or anything like that, can you tell me why this might not be the best possible exercise? Go ahead and write that down on your sheet. Why might not this be the best possible exercise that you could give to a singer who's looking to improve their voice? Now, the reason that Aaron's giving this to you is he's talking about how important it is to learn how to sing up to higher notes in your voice and how the zzz is better at keeping your vocal cords together. Now, many of you may have put out that, or written down that the zzz creates more tongue tension, or that the zzz is your mouth is closed, so it's not like real singing. I'm going to go even simpler and just say the range of notes that Aaron demonstrates here is just 1 octave, And it's from a very low note up to not even a really high note. It's from C sharp 3 up to C sharp 4, which if you're a guy, that won't even bring you close to where you start to bridge or start to change up into your head voice, bring you up to the second or the higher part of your voice. And if you're a woman, you probably won't even be able to sing down that low. So most often you would probably, just watching this video, you would like switch the octave if you thought that far ahead, in which case it might be a good exercise for you. But in general, you can just tell that this range is not going to help anyone. So what are the results of this? None. The zzz doesn't bring you up into your head voice at all. So really the whole point of the video is moot because he doesn't bring you up high enough. In case you're curious, a better starting key would be around like an F sharp for males, an F sharp 4 on a zzz. And for a lady, probably around a C sharp, but an octave higher than what he demonstrated there. Now let's look at another video. This is Ken Tamplin's How to Sing Any Song. By the way, I found these videos by just searching how to sing, and then I just started clicking through the suggested videos, just like everybody else does. Now, I clicked on this video because, I mean, how to sing any song, I mean, sign me up. Anybody would click on this. And again, this video is massively popular, 5 million views on this video. Now, again, let me just break it down for you what Ken teaches you in this video. He's not actually really teaching you much about how to sing a song. What he's teaching you about in the core of this video is about vowels and vowel families, right? So now his point here is that you may find like a lower note in your voice, like an a, e, o, u, right? A, e, o, u. All of those vowels are totally different. Now, his point with this video is that when you go up to a higher pitch in your voice, let's say up to like a B flat for a guy, all those vowels start to get a little closer to each other, like all except for the ooh. You could tell most of them were around the same place. There's little changes, but it's very, very different from like down here on a, e, o. You can see how the changes are a lot more dramatic down in the lower part of my voice. And his point with this video is that when you're singing songs, you don't want to just be like a, e, o, u, which is a very good point. Now, the problem with this, if you can think of it, put on your voice teacher hat for a second. This isn't such a bad thing to teach, but the problem is you may have some results with this exercise if you're already really good. if you're already singing on pitch, if you're already singing in time, if you're singing with chest voice and head voice and mixed voice and all this other stuff, vowel modification is awesome. But again, it doesn't really come into play until you're already singing in tune, singing with your mixed voice and stuff like that. Now, I just wanted to take a moment and say, again, don't just watch a bunch of YouTube videos. You're going to get confused. And if you do this, again, there's nothing wrong with you guys for watching these videos. These guys are great marketers. They're trying to get you into their technique, and they're doing a great job. They're putting out good content that a lot of people think is really helpful, but may not actually be. Now, my point with all of this is that you could end up getting lost and confused, and if that's the case, you could end up believing that you just don't have the talent, or even worse, that you're just not destined to become a very good singer. But again, I just want to reiterate, everybody that's watching this, you have a beautiful voice just waiting to be unlocked. You just need that little personal feedback, that custom roadmap to help you figure out what you need to do. And unfortunately, it's possible that if you go down that road long enough of watching these videos and just getting more and more confused, you may actually end up believing that you're never going to be a great singer. And that's the saddest part of all of this, really, because if you watch too many of these videos and you do stuff that's not working for your voice, it makes it even harder to unlock your voice. It's kind of like back to the golf thing that I told earlier. It's like if I was listening to everybody's feedback and trying to input all of it at once, and I just did that for, years on end, I might never become a better golfer. I might just give up and be like, well, gosh, this is so frustrating. Like, I can't actually do all of these things that people are asking me to do. I'm never going to be a great golfer, so I would just give up. Now, I know that sounds really funny, but I see this with singing all the time. But again, I just want to reiterate, you absolutely have a beautiful voice that's just waiting to be unlocked. Now, the key to putting all of this together is obviously we need to know which techniques are going to help you get to your goals, right? The key to putting all of this together is actually using these exercises to help you with that. And of course, that also means learning to sing songs better, right? We don't want to just sing vocal exercises better. We also want to sing songs better. So the whole reason for doing vocal training is singing songs better, right? We're not here to just do a gee 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 or a na 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 really well. We're here to sing songs better. So unfortunately, most people are going to sing songs wrong over and over again without learning how to apply exercises to a song. Here's what I mean by that. You know, people will say like, oh, I really want to work on Stay With Me by Sam Smith, right? So they're like, oh, won't you stay with me? And they're like, oh, wow, that's an hour. Perfect. Must be getting better. And then the next day they do another hour and it's like, oh, won't you stay with me? But it's not getting any better because they haven't broken down what's not working about it and actually using exercises to improve that. And so, of course, in Master Your Voice, we're going to show you which techniques to improve your voice, but more importantly, how to apply those vocal exercises into songs, right? So when this is done right, man, finally there's some clarity about how exercises and songs work together. And number two, you'll immediately see that just like Dave, the example that we gave earlier, you'll immediately see that you can sing the songs that you love and feel more confident doing them. So that song that you wrote down on your piece of paper at the very beginning today, you absolutely can sing that song. You just need the right feedback and the right exercises to show you how to sing that better. Does that make sense to everyone? Awesome. I'm super proud. I'm super proud of you guys. Thank you so much for watching this. I'm really, really glad that you're here. So let's see what this actually looks like. Who's excited to actually see what this looks like in a singer's voice? Okay, so I want to introduce you to one of my students, Michael. He's in a band called Foxera. You should check them out. They're on Spotify if you haven't already. Not right now. Go ahead and do it after, but just write it down in your notes. Foxera, Foxera. Now, here's a really great example of somebody that came to me. He's got this problem. We're working through it. We're using some exercises, and we're applying it to a song. This is what that looks like. Here we go.
No, I don't want to lose you. Do you feel like we're alright? Every time I close my eyes, I wish that you were by my side. Cause I don't want to lose you. So stay with
Wow, that did not come out right.
No worries. Take it again.
Stay with me tonight.
So first I want to just point out, so what was going on was there were a couple of notes where he was like a little falsetto, right? So then every time there was a little break there. And then at the very end, he was like, then stay with me tonight. He was like really, really strainy and really, really screechy, right? So what I did was I heard that and I gave him an exercise that was going to help all of those things all at once. And it's going to be different for you depending on what vocal issues that you're dealing with. But in this particular case, I heard, okay, so he needs a mum technique to help him loosen that up a little bit.
Mama.
Much better. Now, do the same thing on every time I... So he got it right on the mum now. Let's see if he can do it on the lyrics. But this time, imagine that you're still singing that nice open ma in the back.
Every time I close my eyes.
Yeah.
Cause I don't wanna lose you. So stay with me tonight.
Good. Now, we're going to do the exact same thing.
Stay.
Mom, 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 mom. There it is. Now, a little bit of that kind of yawny mom feeling in the lyrics.
So stay with me tonight.
That's it right there.
That one felt really good.
Yeah. Do you feel the difference?
It's way less pressed. That's like the problem. Yeah. I feel like that's like kind of almost, in a sense, killing my stamina too.
Absolutely. Could all you guys hear the difference between the before and the after there? So that stay with, he just needed that, stay with me tonight. He just needed that to loosen up just a little bit there. And I just want to show you, I mean, the results here are just phenomenal, because Michael figured out what that thing was that was holding him back. He was really screeching, he was really strainy, so we give him an exercise to help him do that and apply it to a song. And the results, of course, are that Michael unlocked those top notes without straining, and that sounds way, way better. And I know you guys heard that. Now, here's just a couple of other folks that have also enrolled in this, and they're like, hey man, my voice is growing faster than ever before. My overall tone is improving, and I can sing notes that I've never sung in my life. The best part is that I don't have to try to understand how to sing. I just follow Matt's instructions and practice vocal exercises over and over, and the voice naturally comes. I think that's pretty funny. I want you guys to understand how your voice improves too. But it's good to know that if you just follow this advice exactly, your voice will naturally improve. This is a great one from one of my buddies, Joe. He's located here in Central Texas too. He's like, this course is absolutely fantastic. I tried some of the other ones and was just confused. You're a better teacher than any of them, man. This course is organized better than any of them, and you get the best sing for your buck. So I just want to reiterate to you guys, the tricky part of figuring out how to sing is pretty obvious, right? I mean, it's so incredibly hard to judge yourself. And the reason that is because we hear ourselves differently than other people hear us, right? And so, you may have your neighbor or your mom or somebody else saying, oh yeah, this is like a little pitchy or a little bit light or something. But we're never going to be able to overcome those issues unless we get the right feedback from an expert that knows exactly what's at the root of those problems. You may be misdiagnosing the problem, right? So, number one, how do you fix this? Number one, you have to be willing to share your voice with someone outside yourself. Number two, you need to know what your biggest obstacle in your singing voice is. Number three, then you need to find vocal exercises that address that exactly, right? That's a big, big holdup for a lot of people. And number four, most importantly, you need to learn how to apply those exercises to your songs in order to sing those better. And that's why I want to invite you guys to work with us. Do you want me to do this for you? Do you want me to go ahead and listen to you sing something really, really simple? And I'll get back to you with a very, very detailed roadmap on exactly what's holding you back and better off how to improve that. Let me show you what this looks like. I want to invite you guys to join Master Your Voice. Master Your Voice is the only interactive singing course that combines the power of personal feedback with proven exercises to improve your voice. So this is an interactive vocal course to unlock your singing potential and build a voice you love. How do you do that? Through personal feedback and proven exercises. So what do you actually get in Master Your Voice? By the way, you can enroll in this right now. Typically, we only open this up a couple of times a year, but since you're watching this, I know you guys are ready to put this into action right now. You can go to ramseyvoice.com/special-offer. So, number one, and this is the big one, right? You're going to get personal feedback from a 5-star singing coach, directly from your coach to you. That way you're able to hear exactly what you need to improve on. Number two, you're going to get that custom roadmap to overcome your vocal roadblocks. Number three, you're going to get a proven system to teach you the techniques you need to improve and achieve your vocal goals. Number four, we're going to be here to keep you accountable and make sure that you're achieving your singing goals. We ask several times that you send in additional clips of you recording something to make sure that, the advice that we're giving, the feedback that we're giving you is actually working. Because if it's not working, what's the point? And of course, singing support whenever you need it. Just try reaching out to, some of the other guys that have courses out there like Ken Tamplin or Brett Manning or Aaron Anastasi. It's like you can't even get those guys' email addresses. You're just going to get, their customer support or whatever, and they're not going to be able to help you. Instead, with this, you're going to actually get help from a 5-star singing coach. But specifically, what does that mean? Number one, you're going to get the personalized vocal assessment. That's what we call the vocal snapshot. Number two, you're going to get that custom roadmap of how to work with the course, and we call that the singing roadmap, right? Number three, 62 HD video lessons and 42 individual audio warm-ups. Number four, 10 in-depth song tutorials. This is where we put it all together. That way you're actually able to see how to integrate what I'm teaching you into your own music. And of course, I'm going to keep you accountable and on track with your goals. Now, I have done this with over a couple hundred students now of all different levels and lots of different skill types, lots of different genres. And this works for everyone. Why? Because you're getting personal feedback from someone that understands what your voice is struggling with, but more importantly, where you're trying to go with that. And you can enroll in that right now at ramseyvoice.com/special offer. So what's included? This personalized vocal assessment, as we mentioned earlier, where I listen to you singing something and I get right back to you with this customized roadmap. So we start off by hearing you sing something. We send you back this custom roadmap, as well as a suggestion of exercises to work through to improve on whatever issues that we hear. And personalized song choices, I'm going to get into that in just a second because it's super, super exciting. And of course, this all leads to amazing results. Now, I mentioned that I was going to talk about these hand-picked songs for your range. I touched on it briefly in Bethany's assessment because I really like to think of songs as tools to help a singer improve. So rather than, oh, this is just a good song for your range or something like that, instead, I like to find songs that match your range, maybe match your genre or your style, but more importantly are going to reinforce whatever it is that you're working on. So if I hear that you're straining on high notes, I might give you some songs that have a couple of high notes on maybe easier vowels to sing up there, rather than just straining and belting. Those songs will actually almost be like tools or exercises to help you with that. Of course, the 62 video lessons, 42 audio warm-ups, 10 in-depth song tutorials so that you can actually see how to put this into practice. A couple of fun bonuses here. Vocal range finder. That way you can find your vocal range at the very beginning and you can measure it as you continue through the course to see your improvement. Pitch monitor so that you can see whether you're on pitch or not. I have a lot of people who are like, what if I can't even sing on pitch yet? What if I'm just starting off with learning to sing in tune? Is this for me? It absolutely is, because I have tons and tons of exercises within the course, in addition to my personal feedback, that I'm going to say, hey, I actually want you to focus on this exercise, but have this pitch monitor running so that you can watch where things are getting a little bit off, and naturally people get a lot better. And of course, again, you can go to Master Your Voice by going to ramseyvoice.com/special offer. So I just want to show you some other quotes from some people that have signed up for this and how excited they were to actually get the feedback that they needed. This one's from Amy. She said, I'm someone that likes to hear fast results, but each day I started hearing a difference in my voice, and I'm glad to say that this course works. It's only been 30 days, but my voice has changed drastically. So a huge shout out to you. Special thanks. Of course, this course is absolutely awesome, which I really, really appreciate. This one is fun. I don't know if you can actually see this, but this one's really interesting. So this is Delphine. I think I'm pronouncing that right. She's actually in Paris. And when she enrolled in the course, she had a range of just 2 octaves from D3 up to B flat 5. And then she wrote me back, I'm halfway into the course, and she got 5 extra notes. And you can see down here at the bottom that she has an octave of or range of over 3 octaves from C sharp 3 to C sharp 6, which is absolutely huge. Now, I also want to introduce you to one of my singers named Tim. Tim is a fantastic guy. Now, Tim has been through some rough times with his voice. He's actually had 2 vocal cord surgeries to remove polyps in his voice because he's a metal singer. And it's just very, very typical to see that with metal singers because there's so many aggressive vocals. And when Tim and I started working together, I wasn't totally sure about how much he was going to be able to get out of this. But I was really, really glad when he said this.
Hey everyone, my name is Tim. I'm a singer for a heavy metal group. And when I first contacted Matt, I had some trouble with my throat and I had developed vocal cord polyps. And I ended up having 2 surgeries on my vocal cords and I couldn't sing anymore afterwards. I couldn't sing at all. I couldn't sing the way that we do in my group, which is a lot of yelling, screaming, but I definitely couldn't sing at all. And after just even the first session with Matt, I was able to hit notes that I never knew even existed because I never sang like that before. And after just a few short classes, I was back to exactly where I was, and it was just a great experience. And even shortly after that, I just started singing in different ways that I never even thought I would have been interested in before, not just the kind of yelling type of singing that I do with my band normally. So I just want to say thank you, Matt. You helped me go from, nothing to where I am now, which is great. So thank you so much.
Man, and I'm super proud of him for the progress that he's made. He's a really, really great singer now, but more importantly, he knows how to protect his voice moving forward. This is another one from Mela. Mela's a professional session singer, and she said, a few years ago, I had a vocal injury that almost derailed my whole career. I'm happy to say I'm 100% healed and happy to be here. I've made multiple videos with and about the course, and it's been incredible. If you guys want to hear an amazing singer, check this out.
So let's take stock of where I'm at vocally right now, which is not great. I've been a session singer for years and years and years, and I think because it's my job, you kind of get into a groove where it's just business as usual. It's not great. I have lately definitely been feeling more hoarse and sore toward the end of my day. So anyway, I really need help. I need to get back into singing correctly, and that means everything, like posture, breathing, placement, all of that. I also would love to increase my range. I have about a 2.5 octave range, which is fine. I mean, it's definitely nothing to brag about, but I would love to increase it on both ends. Hey everyone, I am done with Matt Ramsey's Master Your Voice class, and I wanted to give you a final review and update. I am not joking when I say I think this class has been the most effective and efficient class for improving my voice as a professional singer. And I don't say that lightly. I've taken Christina Aguilera's masterclass on singing. I've taken Reba McEntire's class. I've taken multiple classes. I've also taken in-person voice lessons. This is such a great class because it has actionable steps. It gives you point-by-point instructions. It walks you through the overall process of improving your voice. So in terms of results, for me personally, I had to hit a high G for a client. This would have been something that I would have just immediately told the client that's not possible, sorry, but I sailed through it. There was no trouble at all. My lowest notes are like a low E or a low D, and those have previously been notes that I would have saved for morning sessions, but now I find that I'm able to hit them any time of day. This is the most helpful vocal class I've ever taken. I highly, highly recommend it if you are looking to get more use out of your voice, more strength, more range, more character, anything you need. He covers all of it in this course.
Check this out.
Spend all your time waiting for that second chance, for a break that would make it okay. And maybe empty, whole and weightless, and maybe I'll find some peace tonight in the arms of the angel. Fly away from me, from this dark, cold hotel room, and the endlessness that you feel.
Yeah, man, it's so good to hear her. And by the way, you should totally follow her on Instagram. She's @_Mela Music. This is one from May Pak, who said, your assessment was phenomenal. I'm truly so excited to work on my singing. I've already gotten into it, and I can immediately hear a difference in my voice. And I only got up to the vocal agility section, which is only the third section. This is a good one from Patty. I love this one. She said, I'm so excited by this personal and specific assessment. Some of it expected, but there are some very important observations I would not have guessed. For instance, I would have not thought that my chest voice was my issue, but the way that you explain it made perfect sense, so I have an immediate focus. So she's kind of like Bethany, and then she had to work on her chest voice. The repertoire is spot on for my style. I know, and I like many of them. Now, a lot of people ask, do you have a guarantee? Absolutely. And you're not going to find this with any other singing course. But with Master Your Voice, I guarantee that you are going to expand your range by 5 notes. 5 notes at the bottom or at the top, 5 notes total. And I believe this so strongly because I've seen it so many times that there's just a couple small tweaks that singers can make in their voice and they get massive, massive results. And again, you can go to ramseyvoice.com/special offer. Now, I know that you guys are interested in this. I'm super, super excited to have you here. But if you enroll right now, while I'm talking, in any of the course packages, I'm going to throw in something very, very special, which is my Introduction to Recording Vocals workshop. And this was a fantastic workshop, and I taught 3 huge things. I taught my favorite microphone that doesn't cost thousands of dollars. I showed you how to pick songs that are guaranteed to fit your range. And 3, I show you how to record a rock star level vocal in just an hour using totally free software. And again, that's only if you enroll while I'm talking. It's ramseyvoice.com/special offer. Just click enroll on any of those courses. Again, you can go to ramseyvoice.com/special offer. So what I thought would be kind of cool is I want to show you guys what this looks like to enroll, what the actual page looks like, and how you can get started off with enrolling in it. So if this is something you're interested in, this is exactly what you do. So you just go to ramseyvoice.com/special offer. You get this nice thing with the lady with the YouTube. It says, if learning to sing on YouTube worked, you wouldn't be reading this right now. Just my crack at YouTube, right? And all the things that we've covered so far, some of the testimonials, how it's different from other singing courses, etc. Now, several times throughout this page, you'll see these buttons right here that say Get Instant Access. You can click on any one of those, and what that'll do is that will take you down to the very, very bottom of the page. And you can also just scroll down to the very bottom if you want to. And what you'll see here is all the different course packages. Now, we have 3 main course packages: the starter course, the complete course, and the Rockstar package. Now, I want to just introduce you guys to the Rockstar package because this is the holy grail, right? So the Rockstar package, when you select this, what does that include? Well, that's going to include everything from the starter course. That's everything that we talked about earlier, right? It's the personalized vocal assessment, the custom roadmap, 10 personalized song suggestions, 62 step-by-step video lessons, 42 individual audio warm-ups, 10 in-depth modern song tutorials, the vocal rangefinder, the vocal pitch monitor, the 30-day 5-note guarantee, which I'm going to get into in just a second, and of course, lifetime access. But the Rockstar package, and here's why it's super awesome. Not only do you save some money by doing this, but also you get 4 one-hour online lessons with me, which we're charging $1,000 for right now. I know it's crazy, but that's just what we have to charge right now because I'm so busy with students in the program and students here in my personal studio. So we're charging $1,000 for that right now, and basically at $1,097, you're basically getting all this additional stuff for just $100. You also get the Sing on Pitch mini course. We charge $50 for that. The Become a Rockstar ebook, voice types worksheet in order to find your vocal range, and the lyrics cheat sheet to help you memorize lyrics twice as fast. And of course, we have payment plans for those as well. But what you would do is you would just select that button right there with the little red dot, click Get Instant Access, and boom, $1,097. Now, I know people are watching this from all over the world, so I just want to validate for you that the price may show up differently depending on where you're at with taxes and VAT and all that stuff if you're in Europe. I don't have any control over that. This is just the pricing that we charge here. And basically, you'll just fill out your credit card information, your number, expiration, all that stuff, and fill out your billing address, and then you would just click the Buy Now button, right? Pretty simple. Now, a lot of folks are going to have questions about this. Like, is this right for me? How can I afford this? All of that stuff. And I just want to encourage you guys. I know a lot of people who are watching this, they know it's going to be like the perfect thing for their voice, and it's going to be exactly what they need to get to that next level. And they're still going to say, gosh, I just can't afford this. But rather than thinking, I can't afford this, or I can't become a better singer, and having that kind of fixed mindset, I want to encourage you to think, how can I afford this? Is there someone that you can reach out to? Can you ask your neighbor or your parents or your grandmother or some other person that's really close to you in your community? And if not, I also have lots of options, we discussed. So I wanted to come up with a few options for singers that are on a budget. Number one, you can enroll in one of the Master Your Voice payment plans. They start at only $119 and they have 4 monthly payments. It's only $397 a day, and that's for the starter course. And of course, we also have those available for the complete as well as the Rockstar package that I mentioned earlier. Now, option number two, for those students that want to save even more money, you actually save $80 when you select the one-time option or the one-time payment option on any course package. And the difference between those two, just so you can see them, let's say that you want to do the Rockstar package. Well, you can do the 4 payments of $294 a month, or you can just do the one-time payment right here and save the $80. And the way that you select that is you just click these different red buttons in order to show which one that you want. Now, I also did some research and I came up with an amazing option. If paying that $397 plus scares you, don't worry, I've got you. I did some research and I found this awesome option. It's called PayPal Credit, and it basically applies to any purchase over $99. So if you're approved, you pay nothing up front and 0 interest if you pay the balance within 6 months, which basically means that you get the whole thing for free today and you have up to 6 months to pay it off without any interest. So in order to use PayPal Credit, basically you just select PayPal at checkout and then you scroll down past like your credit cards and your bank and all that stuff and you just hit apply for PayPal Credit. I'll show you how that looks right now. So I want to do this, the Rockstar package. So I click get instant access. And I would just click PayPal right here, select that, and then it would bring me to my bank. And then the PayPal credit's right at the bottom here. But I also wanted to cover some of the more frequently asked questions. Can anyone learn to sing? Yes, anyone. If you're watching this, I know that you have a beautiful voice just waiting to be unlocked. Between my personal feedback and the techniques that I teach you in Master Your Voice, I'm confident that anyone from a total beginner to a professional is going to see huge benefits in how they sound. How long do you have access to all of this? You have access to everything for lifetime. Access to your personal vocal assessment, to your custom roadmap, to all of this stuff, to everything in the course, to the 10 in-depth song tutorials. You have lifetime access to all of this. How long does it take to see results? Well, as soon as you receive your vocal assessment, basically, I'm going to get right back to you with the custom roadmap within 5 days. And then I believe that using the exercises that I recommend in that custom roadmap, you're going to see amazing results practicing only 3, possibly more times a week. I always recommend 5, but if you can only give me 3, that's totally fine. 3 times a week for 30 minutes. So only an hour and a half a week. Do you have to buy a microphone or download anything? Nope. It's designed so that students all over the world can enroll. There's no fancy technology or downloads required. As long as you have an iPhone or Android and email, you can get all the benefits of this course. And I was like, of course, I'm not going to stop you if you want to buy a nice microphone. Will this course teach me to hit high notes? Absolutely. The biggest benefit that I've had from taking singing lessons is that ability to hit high notes without falsetto. So as soon as you enroll, I'll be showing you exactly how to do that. What will you learn how to sing? This is a really good one because people are like, well, do you teach pop or rock or jazz or musical theater? I try to cover as many genres as possible, but the thing to know is that Master Your Voice is so much more than just a collection of vocal warm-ups. In fact, the techniques that I teach in Master Your Voice can be applied to any genre of music, from R&B to pop, to opera, to rock, R&B, musical theater. I cover it all. But you can look forward to working on some songs by Sam Smith, Rihanna, Adele, Jeff Buckley, John Legend. What if I'm unhappy with the course? I believe that between my personal feedback and the techniques that I teach you and Master Your Voice, you're going to expand your range by 5 notes or more. And if you can't, and you've worked through the course, I want you to reach out to me because I want to help you do that. So reach out to me within 30 days and I'll help you directly. But if you're still not satisfied, I require that you ask for a refund. Can you practice on the go? Absolutely. Every video and audio lecture is mobile friendly. And are the classes live or are they pre-recorded? Well, it's a little bit of both, as we've discussed. When you first enroll, I'm going to have you send me a quick recording of you singing. I'll get back to you with that customized video recording of the roadmap. And then once you actually get into the meat of the course, there's over 60 singing exercises that we've used with over 1,000 students now. And because those singing techniques are so universal, we've recorded those HD video lessons to allow students all over the world to enroll. Now, I am super, super happy to offer this with you guys right now. Again, we only offer this a couple of times a year, but since you're here right now, I know that you're interested. If you're interested, go ahead right now to that ramseyvoice.com/special-offer. And of course, if you want this fast action bonus, the Introduction to Recording Vocals Workshop, you're going to learn which mic to buy that doesn't cost thousands of dollars. Very important to have. Number 2, you're going to learn how to pick songs that fit your vocal range and your voice. And number 3, you're also going to learn how to get that rock star vocal in just an hour. I am so, so glad that you guys are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for watching. Whether you purchase or not, I really, really appreciate you giving me your time and your attention. Thank you so much for watching. I promised earlier that I was going to give you guys one of my best bonuses, which is this Become a Rock Star ebook with 6 lessons to get you singing on stage fast. And you download that at ramseyvoice.com/rock-star-ebook. And you can download that right away, and I'll just email it over to you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to sign off now. This is the last chance to enroll and still get that fast action bonus of the Recording Vocals Workshop. So if you're interested, definitely do that right now. Again, you just go to ramseyvoice.com/special offer, and then you just click any of the packages. I especially recommend the Rockstar package because that includes 4 one-hour lessons that you can put into use. You've worked through the course for a while. You see what you need to work on, but you still want that golden feedback of a 1-hour lesson where I'm giving you exercises, really running you through it and working through the songs that you're really wanting to work on. I definitely recommend checking out the Rockstar package. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I love having you here. And if you have any questions that I didn't answer, you can always reach out to me. Just email me, matt@ramseyvoice.com. Thank you guys so much for watching, and bye. Have a great day.